What is up guys, Lack of Skills here, back in another Khazan video. The patch notes dropped today and the spear meta has considerably changed, I would say. I've been testing a little bit and the new meta would be the Drowned Witch set. As you can see here with the set, they changed a lot of lines. The water attack damage that was previously 15 has now turned to 20. They added a ranged attack damage increase line, 30%, which applies to any sort of range damage, so Javelin, Eagle Wind, and the like, pretty much. Now, the line 4 is Eagle Wind and range attacks, grant water attribute. That is what makes this whole set coherent. Because as you can see, the other lines are all either range attack damage multipliers and frost related lines. Now, the fact that Eagle Wind gives you frost also means you don't have to use consumables anymore to get access to it, which makes this set very insane for free status pretty much, because you always have access to a status, which is very good. The other change is that Tides of Fury now gives you a damage increase for 15 seconds upon using 2% per stacks, max 15 stacks. It's kind of worded a little bit weirdly because if you cast it once, as I will show you here, look at the bottom, I will cast Tides of Fury. You see that one full cast gives you 10 stacks, which is 20% damage. So if you would cast it twice, you would obviously hit the 15 stack cap, which would be 30% damage. So in any regular rotation, you will get at 20% damage pretty much, because you get the 10 stacks going, right? So there is that. Now, the other lines of the set, as you can see, I'm always running damage lines and the jar, because the jar is amazing. The 10 proficiency outweighs the one piece of the helmet that you could use, because the 10 proficiency is a lot of extra damage. So if possible, get the jar. If you don't have a jar, just run the Drowned Witch headpiece. It's completely fine. As you can see, all my lines are just regular damage increase lines as you need, and that is pretty much all that you need to know for the gear equipment. Now, a rotation would look something like this. And compared to the older set, the golden set, what I used to run is this piece here. I would use the 5 piece, because the 6 piece Moonlight Awakening isn't actually good, because it would put you too far away from your target, which is just mostly very annoying. It just doesn't really work, in my opinion. It mostly just like boggles your rotation, I think, but that is simply my opinion. I used to run, obviously, the 5 piece golden here with the spear, the jar, the boots and the gauntlet pauldrons, and I would use the hound pants simply because you cannot get damage lines on pants, I do believe, and the 2-piece 5% damage increase is very nice, but more importantly, the 4% damage increase on the pants is very good too. So you get the 9% damage increase from your pants pretty much. And then I would use one Elamain's ring, which the lightning attack damage and rod smite, it's not super relevant unless you're using a lightning grease, which you could do, it's not terrible. But we use it for the confront line that gives 10% damage increase, and the necklace of Singing Hawk from the Unending Tragedy set gives the 2-piece composed damage increase, which is if you are above 50% stamina, you get 15% damage increase. So if you play the set correctly, both of these pieces give you 25% extra damage pretty much. And a rotation with golden set would look something like this. We'll go over the skills that you will need, or the skills that are mandatory, at least for both builds, I would say, are all the Moonlight Swift Attack stuff here. You need that for sure. 0 point is nice because, yeah, you can chain some stuff together. This is sometimes very good against annoying, dodgy enemies that are not easy to hit with skills, I would say. Sometimes they would dash away from your trance, and 0 point kind of tracks them. So I like this on occasion. I don't use it too often, but it's nice to have. Don't need either of these. Spiral Thrust can be good. If you have skill points spare, you can use it when they are exhausted for extra damage due to the extra things here. Deal greater damage immediately after using brutal attack, or when using against exhausted enemies, right? So this is decent. Honestly, after image is trash. Don't use this. This skill is really bad. You want the Shadow Reversal, obviously, to get behind them. Very OP. You need all the trance stuff. Pretty self-explanatory, right? Because else the build doesn't work. None of this is particularly needed. I would get agility and quick slash, because hitting after dodging is quite helpful. You want to get breakdown, obviously, and endurance. These are pretty nice. This is somewhat helpful. And then you want to get Eagle Wind, as you can see in both of the gameplays. Eagle Wind does great amount of damage, and its casting animation is not too long, so that it allows you to use multiple skills in a exhausted window, if you will. Then, of course, we have here the lovely jubbly resources stuff. So taking damage, blocking, and hitting, all of these are worth getting. And dodging, obviously. All of these are worth getting. These below are NG plus and NG plus plus things. On NG, you would only have these 5 here. So make sure you get all these damage related things. These are very good. You don't really need reflection. If you're big on parrying or you know how to parry, then obviously get it. It's very good if you can use it effectively. You would look to get this, the swift and the window, right? You only need that, and this, realistically. Brutal attack, you want to get the Reap is pretty helpful if you need some health from head on, but with this build, with these builds mostly you'll attack them from the back, so you want to get the Brutal attack Fury because it will give you spirit charges back when you use the Brutal attack when they're exhausted from behind, so you do need this. You don't need any of the Javelin stuff, this is all optional, you don't need this. Counter attack I would get, because obviously this is very good, Recover Fury with a counter attack. Now most bosses will have a counter attack, so what happens is, as you will see in the gameplays as well, you fight the boss. You do combos against him, at some point he's gonna go into a counter attack, you use that counter attack to get half your stuff back and just rinse, repeat and cook him. That's the long and short of it. These perks are very good, the timing window is nice, the damage is nice, and this is very mandatory, of course, the Fury return. You don't need any of the Phantom form stuff, but you can get it if you want. So, without further ado, let's get into the gameplays. And now we are here at the boss with the Drowned Witch set equipped, as you can see, very lovely. Then we'll use one of these, and we will head in there. And that is the Drowned Witch, performing at, well, somewhat peak because I'm kind of ass, but you get the idea here. It is very strong. If you can get the thing off or you can get behind her. In second phase, it's a little bit more difficult. You see, you can put out some obscene amounts of damage. Alright, we are here at the arena now, and for this one we will use a lightning grease obviously on this because of the element ring to give us a little bit of extra damage. So I'm gonna pop one of these, pop one of them, and go in there.
Reese, stop! Please! Phantom. Reese! There is no way to save her now, mortal.
Also, quite a clean fight. I do love using Eagle Wind here also because it is a skill that you can auto-cancel really fast into trance, which still means that you can put out a decent amount of damage. But as you can see, the burst phases were nowhere near as insane as with Drowned Witch. However, by any means, this set is not useless. I would say it's still pretty good. And that was both of the Reese fights with different setups. As always, of course, I will put the lovely jubbly timestamps in the description, so you can just skip forward at your leisure. If you think there is anything I missed, if you have any comments or suggestions, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm thinking about doing a little bit of a challenge thing with Khazan potentially. I'm still cooking it up. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. What I was thinking of is doing a pacifist against the boss, trying to have the summon kill the boss by itself on NG +2. If this is going to be possible or not, I have no idea. I'm still testing it. Hopefully that video will be there in the near future, but as of now, I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and until the next one, guys, take care.